Well, torrential rains over the past few days have wreaked havoc across northeast, with the death toll in rain-induced landslides, floods, flash floods and lightning across the region touching 30 since reports last came in. Now, 10 deaths have been reported in Assam, 7 from Arunachal Pradesh, 4 from Mizoram and 3 from Meghalaya. Assam is among the worst hit. 78,000 people have been affected across more than 15 districts. The Central Water Commission issued an orange alert. Major rivers, including the Brahmaputra and Barak, are flowing above danger marks. Now, this is the situation that we see in Silchar area of Assam. Assam, as I said, has got 78,000 people who have been affected, and this is across 15 districts. The flooding has been reported in several areas where the Brahmaputra and its tributaries have in fact burst its banks. People are trying to reach to higher ground in several areas, and some of them with makeshift floaters have been trying to in fact reach those higher grounds in that area. This is the situation that we see in Lakhimpur in Assam. Meanwhile, in Guwahati, we have seen the use of helicopters to fly out those who have been marooned because of the flooding in the Brahmaputra basin area. The Central Water Commission has issued an orange alert. These are in fact visuals that show off Guwahati areas in and around Guwahati, and especially some of the townships that have been completely flooded as the Brahmaputra burst its banks. Several farmlands have also been flooded in the area. 1,500 tourists, meanwhile, have been struck. This is the situation that we see in Assam's Pathshala, where we see the roads being completely inundated and also being washed away from the area. Meanwhile, in Guwahati, these were the scenes that were there in the residential areas and urban centers of the city. What we see is that the SDRF as well as the civil defense personnel were involved in taking away people from areas that have been flooded to higher ground. Families had to in fact leave their homes to move towards higher ground as the flood waters started gushing in and the water levels started to rise. The kind of situation that is being faced in the area. Flooded streets in Guwahati and Silchar in Assam. This is the kind of situation that we see on the ground, especially in the urban areas where water has been rising in several low-lying areas as well. Several people have in fact been evacuated. In Assam alone, 78,000 people are said to be affected because of the floods, and the district administration says that around 15 districts could be affected because of the rising water. These are in fact visuals coming in from Aizawl in Mizoram, where a road has been completely washed out. A bridge, in fact, has been washed out with the trees also falling onto it. And you can see the waters gushing in and the road being completely washed out because of the rising water in the river. These are the visuals that come in from from Mizoram, and we can see the flooding that's happening in the urban areas in Aizawl as well, where people are finding it difficult, especially after the water has been entering their homes, and also several landslides as well as roadblocks being reported in Aizawl in Mizoram, where bridges have been washed away because of the rising flood waters. Meanwhile, These are in fact the visuals coming in from Anjaw in Arunachal Pradesh, where we see that people are trying to use the dangerous route to cross over to the other side. A river being completely in spate, and one of them in fact using the ropeway that or rather the ropes that connect the wooden bridge and using it to reach to the other side, because the wooden bridge is being slammed by the water, and the person in fact also being hit by the water as he tries to make it to the other side. A very difficult situation that we in fact see, where people are risking their lives to move to the other side, as the rivers, small rivers are also in a spate, especially in the mountainous areas. These are the kind of bridge that is available for crossing on to the other side, and people risking their lives to move to the other side, or rather reach to the other side. And here we can see a person in fact risking it all to reach to the other side, and the person in fact using the rope that connects the bridge to reach to the other side. Shocking visuals coming in from Anjaw in Arunachal Pradesh, and this shows the ferocity of the flooding as well as the rivers being in spate in these areas. Heavy rains have isolated several areas in Arunachal Pradesh. A total of 9 deaths due to landslides have also been reported in the last 2 days from the area. The shocking visual that you see on your screens from there. Meanwhile, these are visuals coming in from the urban areas as well as villages in Arunachal Pradesh, where you can see the water entering several areas and flooding it, especially in residential areas. People in fact taking their belongings and moving out of these residential areas as well. Women carrying their children and whatever they could carry on their back, trying to get to higher ground in Arunachal Pradesh's urban centers. Already it is being said that they face a lot of trouble, especially when it comes to landslides. And this is the situation in Mangan in Sikkim, where the Teesta River is said to be in complete spate. Approximately 1,500 tourists are said to be stranded in these areas because of the landslide, and also because of blocked major roads. Now, a tragic incident that occurred when a vehicle carrying 11 tourists fell into the Teesta River, leaving 1 dead, 2 injured and 8 missing. Now, the Teesta River is said to be in complete spate in Sikkim, and you can see the authorities in fact inspecting the bridges and also keeping an eye on the situation on the river banks. The river is said to have in fact broken its banks, and the water have entered several residential areas and has also led to landslides in the area. Now, this is a drone footage of the Mangan area in Sikkim, where the Teesta River is in complete current, and you can see it in complete spate as well. And this is because of the heavy rains in the catchment areas of the Teesta River that has resulted in it flowing above the danger mark in certain areas of Sikkim. The spate of the river and the ferocity of the river's flow has been captured as water rises because of the heavy rains in that area. Again, another visual that shows the complete collapse of the retaining walls near the river bank because of the rising level of water. We can see how that concrete structure was in fact washed away by the raging river. This is the situation in Mangan in Sikkim, and several tourists have been stranded as well. Retaining walls along the riverbank have also been washed away as the water in the powerful currents of the river, which in fact also is bringing in stones and boulders, crushing into these concrete structures and bringing down. Landslides have also been reported in several areas along the Teesta River as well as in Sikkim, and this has resulted in many people being stranded. Again, visuals that show the intensity of the landslide that has occurred. Here we can see that the landslide has occurred in this particular area at the lower hill area, and efforts being carried out by rescue workers to manage the situation. This is the kind of roughened river that they in fact see. The river is in fact flowing rough, and you can see how it is in fact washing away the sides of the banks as well, and creating also resulting in the landslide that we in fact see. Rescue efforts also being carried out in the area where people, especially the paramilitary forces, are also joining in to help people cross over to the other side of the river. Dramatic visuals in fact being caught over there as well. In Imphal, in Manipur as well, the city did see waterlogging and flooding, resulting in traffic jams in several of its inner areas, and the rescue workers as well as paramilitary forces are being involved in getting floating boats, and they are being put into service to rescue several people who have been in fact stranded inside the urban areas as well. Residential areas did see water stagnating in many places. Waist deep water was in fact seen in several residential areas. So the authorities had no other option but to reach those areas by boat, and they are in fact evacuating elderly, women and children from these locations. Visuals that in fact show the kind of intensity of it. People are struggling to in fact get their belongings out, and there we can see people in fact moving with their belongings from these residential areas and from certain institutes as well. There we can in fact see the kind of complete flooding that is taking place in that area. Imphal, in fact, showing waterlogging in such a way that people have to rely on boats to travel, or rather escape from the situation that they are. Canoes, in fact, are being used. Military personnel on standby to help people, in fact, in these areas. Most of them, in fact, leaving their houses and moving towards higher ground and to safer areas as the water levels rise. This is the impact that is having on Imphal, and as we can see, the water levels in fact rising to a large extent in many places. People in fact stranded in several areas as well. In fact, the drone visuals that show you the impact of the water at Imphal, you can see how several houses have been inundated with the rising waters in several areas of Imphal, and the authorities now struggling to get people out from there. The water has been quite strong when it comes to its current. It has been flowing in residential areas, and the situation there, as you can see, as the river bursts its banks and moves, the water in fact moving into residential areas and flooding these residential areas as well. Several buildings have been inundated because of the rising level of water, and many of them have in fact abandoned their homes as well because of the rising level of water, and authorities are now employing boats to rescue people from the area. As we were in fact saying, the authorities, especially the paramilitary, trying their best to ensure that boats reach the places to help people escape from these areas. Elderly people are being given, elderly women and children being given preference to be moved to higher ground. Paramilitary personnel involved in the rescue work there. Meanwhile, Home Minister Amit Shah tweeted saying that he has spoken with the Chief Ministers of Assam, Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh, and he said that he also spoke with the Governor of Manipur in the wake of the heavy rains and ongoing flooding in these states. He assured them that every possible help will be given in the situation and that the Modi government stands like a rock in support of the people of the Northeast who are facing this difficult situation.
दोनों